So, hello. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Paul Krueger, and I'm a city transportation planner and staff lead on the Greenest City Green Mobility Working Group. So the Greenest City Action Team recommended a goal to make walking, cycling, and public transit preferred transportation options by 2020. The Council has already approved this. Our working group's first task was to kick test the associated target to make over 50% of trips on foot, bicycle, and public transit by 2020, and to suggest changes if appropriate. Remember, each goal should have one or two targets that are ambitious but achievable and at the same time measurable. So, our working group confirmed the original 50% sustainable mode target, noting that the 2008 pre-Canada Line regional trip diary unofficially had us around 40%. We also added a second target to reduce distance driven per resident 20% from 2007 levels. So the technical term for distance driven is VKT, or vehicle kilometers traveled. VKT is important because it reflects not only improvements in mode choice, but also reductions in trip distance and number of trips, which speak to improved land use decisions and directly impact greenhouse gas emissions. We do have some challenges with the base data for both of these targets, and that's something I'll touch upon later. In the course of our review, we also looked at other targets and indicators, for example, around walkability index and vehicle ownership. There might be room for some of these as sub-indicators in the body of the plan, but for the most part, we see the more detailed target setting happening later as part of the upcoming transportation plan, bicycle plan, and other future policies. We've understood the Green Transportation Target Group to be a little different from the others since it's so broad. There are a number of ways we see this plan being used. First of all, to guide, inform, and inspire more detailed future policy. The cycling and transportation plans in particular, both of which will be underway later this year, as well as other policies such as new parking policy and planning programs. So first and foremost, this is a plan to plan. Secondly, this is an opportunity to strengthen the city's sustainability commitments and direction. All future plans, policies, and projects will have to demonstrate how they support the Greenest City Implementation Plan. Third, this plan will support a strategy for improved monitoring of key metrics. We anticipate regular progress tracking will take place through annual reports. The plan presents an opportunity to foster relations and gather support from outside agencies essential to meeting our goals and objectives. And finally, it's an opportunity to solicit the best ideas and to communicate the value and importance of new directions to the general public. So at the highest level, we have the opportunity here to set a new direction and establish core values for the more detailed work to come. This plan will explicitly link transportation with environment, so with greenhouse gas reduction, with sprawl, and with public health and well-being. It's going to highlight the relationship between transportation and land use, as well as the importance of demand management strategies. And it'll recognize not only the role of the city, but also the need for support from other levels of government, TransLink in the province in particular. The Green Mobility Plan will likely include 5 or 10 key directions for the next transportation plan. And here you can see a few of the directions that we're contemplating. I'm just going to highlight the first two given the short amount of time we have. First, affirming and strengthening our priorities to put walking, cycling, and transit first. And secondly, being bolder about reallocating road space to support sustainable modes. Whereas our last plan committed us to not expanding road space, which was, I think, pretty commendable at the time, given that we were and we are still a growing city, this is an opportunity for us to go a lot further. There's some other ideas on the screen here, but really we're looking for your input on this. Ultimately, the plan will include a number of high-level strategies and more detailed actions. We've already got a laundry list of overlapping ideas that fall into a number of categories. These come from not only the GCAT Bright Green Future report, but also existing work plans, emerging ideas from staff and our external advisory group, and the Talk Green to Us website, where people are submitting ideas, voting on ones they like, and discussing them further. So we're still in the process of collecting and discussing and testing these ideas, but I'd like to share a few of the high-level directions that we're contemplating. Around walking in public space, we're considering high-level directions to reimagine Vancouver streets and public spaces to support sustainable transportation choices and build a vibrant pedestrian culture where walking is safe, convenient, and enjoyable. Specific actions here might include things like developing street typology guidelines to ensure that all redevelopment and construction projects result in high-quality, pedestrian-oriented streetscapes that are safe and interesting, while recognizing street function and supporting unique local character. So features might include things like sidewalk space, fully accessible design, pedestrian lighting, street furniture, art, landscaping, wayfinding, community plazas, that sort of thing. Other actions might be around developing a policy framework to support trial programs that could include things like a pavement to parks pilot program, such as the one in San Francisco, to transform underutilized road space or on-street parking into mini parks, plazas, or patio space. This photo here at the bottom is an example of one of the examples in San Francisco. Car-free corridors and pedestrian priority streets are also something that could land here in this section. High-level cycling direction might be to make cycling a desirable and mainstream transportation option that is safe, convenient, comfortable, and fun for people of all ages and abilities. Specific actions could include things like developing a complete cycling network with a range of facilities, from fully separated facilities on busy arterials to super traffic calm streets in the neighborhood that feel safe for all types of riders. Improving end-use facilities, especially at transit hubs and other key locations. A bike sharing program is something we're thinking about. And educational programs, for example, supporting